That's all. Oh, hold on.
Yep.
No, I got my headphones in, but they're not recording. This might be the busted set.
Well.
Oh, there we go. So, welcome back, everybody.
Yeah.
I have not.
It's been a minute.
It's been a couple of weeks. Life happens. But yeah, as we were saying, next weekend. If we were, here's the thing. While I'm kind of talking about next weekend, if we do it, as a group, do you want to freaking try to record it somehow?
Yeah, we literally just have one open, a laptop open, recording in the room.
I don't quite know how we do it.
We'll find
Very
a
carefully.
way. We'll find a way.
With great inexperience.
Yes,
that's how.
I mean, the whole channel's a little ramshackle and amateur anyway. Like I don't think we're going to lose too many. I don't think we're going to lose our hot. I don't know who's a sponsor on a lot of like tabletop shit.
Jasper mattresses.
Yeah.
Blue Apron.
Yeah, actually.
We're going to lose our MyPillow sponsorship.
Oh, not MyPillow.
I'm okay with that, in all honesty.
Hashtag not MyPillow.
No, do they still do Blue Apron? Like I know, like on the channels I watch and stuff, that like Skillshare still does a shit ton of ads.
Mm-hmm.
It's like on podcasts, Blue Apron is still a thing.
NordVPN's getting more like traction. Your NordVPN a lot.
And then some of those the free to play games that are like.
Let's play Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah. Oh God. Yep. Ugh.
Waste your time and money.
Apparently,
I don't mean to brag, but if you go type in Garrett Otter 3, you'll get a legendary character for free plus 50 gold nougats.
Is it an otter character, or does it look like you ready to punch an otter?
Both.
The truth is revealed. He's always been an otter.
And maybe it's like one of those skins that, like, you're constantly like holding an otter, and like what you do has nothing to do with it. It's just you're always holding an otter.
Like under your.
I thought you guys were in this sponsorship. Am I the only one that's being sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends? Because I feel like I need to put up a graphic or something.
So real talk. I mean, I full disclosure, this might ruin my chances of getting a sponsorship from Raid Shadow Legends. But
don't mess it up for me, dude. I'm already being sponsored.
But apparently, one of the reasons that just suddenly that was like all the YouTube channels were doing that was they would pay you a princely sum, like substantially higher than everybody else. And like everybody basically had to read like the same exact script, but it's just like their devs apparently had somebody in marketing that cut like a huge deal because like I mean, yeah, they were all getting that's why you suddenly saw it everywhere. Everyone was wanting to take it. It was like, yeah, we have to take this. We'd be stupid not to.
You make a valid point, Chase, but another reason why you saw it everywhere is because it's a quality game where you can get up to 5 characters of your choice, ranking from common to epic, and you can choose how those characters fight in battle using your own tactics.
Wait, are you talking about Raid Shadow Legends, Garrett?
I believe I'm talking about Raid Shadow Legends.
I started it the other day, and I started it, and like I just put my phone down, and when I came back, I was 5 levels already.
Will you become the next Raid or the next Shadow Legend? I'm pretty sure that's what they told people to read. We could just edit this. Whatever.
No. It's the first 5 minutes are always
edit it in post. Yeah.
So the last time I think it was like the first 10 minutes we were just.
I was listening that last week or something like that. And yeah, I was just, I mean, I didn't mind it. I was just like, yeah, we are just kind of talking for of course it'd been a minute then. Yeah, I don't mind it. This is our fucking game. Fuck everybody else.
This is our podcast that no one listens to but us.
Whatever we do, we won't.
So we don't need anybody except that sweet Raid Shadow.
I'll make my own podcast with blackjack and hookers. Actually, forget about the podcast.
All right, so the timer is set. Who wants to do the quick catch-up?
I literally won't be able to.
Yeah, you might have to wrangle your own horse there, partner, because it's been a while.
I have not watched a video.
I some videos. It was so the first 2 parts were Beryl going to the mountain and having to sacrifice deer, getting that sprung on her. Tony took her up there. Sorry, Officer Park. And
gotta keep it professional.
Yeah, keeping it professional for this part anyway. But there may or may not have been some awkward flirting. And then made a sacrifice. Tried to ask this mountain spirit about the cryptids and the pastor and the group that he's with. Got some cryptic answers that basically the
cryptid answers.
Really?
I get it.
You're not helping
my
us.
Next roll.
But the answers were kind of like, well, they're natural, but not spiritual, and shit. I mean, there was a couple other things, but that was the main sort of point: natural but not spiritual, and that the group has been coming there for kind of a long time, since well before at least this century, I think. And so then we met up at the little meeting room in the apartment building with everybody. And Peter told us about his encounter with the teens and seeing the baby in the house, the little skunk ape house, and how he threatened these kids. And we're trying to figure out what that baby's all about. And then we're trying to figure out what's going on with the natural but not spiritual, trying to figure out some way to interrupt whatever the pastor is doing. What the fuck else, y'all? I don't know.
Honestly, that's pretty much it. The werewolves said that they would hit up the area while like an actual sermon was happening, which is the in-game world time. This coming sermon is the next to last, like, for the month.
Oh yeah, they had said that when they tried to investigate it, they didn't detect anything.
Yeah, like they couldn't necessarily find anything,
which is wild.
Well, which brings us to the next thing. If anybody wants to like go out there with them, like while there's
I didn't have any other ideas. I don't think so.
And honestly, I was just kind of spitballing them, and this isn't like, oh, I got something specifically for them. Behind the DM screen a little bit here, I mostly just kind of wing it. I come in with a very loose plan of what's going to happen, but I'll let most of y'all make the choice. But since Peter is trying to more or less kind of keep a low profile, if he wants to be useful other than just hide.
Peter's busy. He just got a whole shipment of skunk apes wearing pantsuits and various t-shirt sizes, and it just says Skunk Ape 08. He's getting ready for that upcoming election season.
Well, and Grandmaster Roscoe is, of course, helping you unload the boxes. He's calling it strength training. The boxes aren't that heavy. Maybe 15 pounds, and there's a bunch of them. But I mean, you're not breaking a sweat with this.
I can't believe I found these on sale. I mean, I know it's not 08 anymore, but they'll not sell for something. Also, I don't know why I sound like Torgo all of a sudden.
The master will be pleased.
Okay.
He's like, don't worry about it, my young Padawan. Just remember, you just gotta lift. Just always follow my example. Kind of bend down at your waist and kind of like ratchet your back and forth when you pick something up, and then lift. Safest way to pick something up.
When you go,
it works all the back muscles.
Peter genuinely.
I just had to spit out my cream soda.
What the him describing how to properly lift something, or calling him young Padawan?
No, I'm calling Peter his I don't know what. Oh my god.
Wait,
okay.
What's that?
What made you laugh?
The Padawan, calling you young Padawan.
Say it apparently.
Even though, again, Even though, again, it must be stressed. You are older than him, not by a lot.
Oh, yes.
You are older than him. And he's
that's what Peter's up to at the moment, since y'all were asking. So,
Oh, gosh.
well, we're actually going to jump over to Jeb. Working at the hardware store. Kind of, still trying to stay fairly low key through all of this. Your dad's kind of come in, kind of like he's offered to kind of like help around since we haven't seen him in a minute, and Frank's always fun. So
everyone loves Frank.
And at which point, Frank, he's looking, he's like, they're still kind of doing their kind of religious service out there. Like, have they like gone? Have they been pretty much just set up there since all this started every day?
Yeah, every day they're just kind of hanging out there, and if they're not doing a service there, they're just kind of milling around and spending time in that RV, doing stuff in the tent. I mean, no one really knows, as far as I can tell, what they do in the meantime. If they go to town or whatnot.
I mean, don't get me wrong, son. I think I'm pretty good with the Lord, but that's dedication. I mean, and I know we know that there's something more going on here, but like every single day, I just kind of figured
spooky level dedication.
Yeah, I kind of figured they'd be here for like the first couple days, maybe pop in once or twice a week, but every single day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Has it drawn in any business though?
I mean, I feel like people are kind of excited about it, and after we put on that, little sermon thing, people have been coming in more. Definitely people that adhere to the word that he is putting out. People kind of associate him with us now, which is good for business, but I don't know if I want that kind of attention.
You do notice there has been an increase in MAGA hats lately in your store.
It's like, thank you for your business and only your business.
Now please leave.
Just come in and don't talk and buy what you need, and then just leave.
You do see a car pull up. A little nicer than most of the other cars in the area. Not quite a BMW, but it's a fairly it's a Kia, just a little Kia, but it's a 2020. Like, I mean, it's pretty much fresh off the lot, and which is weird because Kias are kind of small, but when Pastor Freddie comes stepping out of it, it's borderline comical.
Yeah, that's kind of clown car-ish.
Yeah, like you don't know how he manages to fit into this thing, but it makes him look substantially larger in his presence. And you see him walking up in front of the store. It's glass, and he's walking to the door, and he opens it and kind of has to duck a little bit as he steps in. Just dressed in a casual khakis and polo shirt. Not his church clothes. And he goes, "Hi, Mr. O'Neill," he says with a big smile. He's like, "How have you gentlemen been?"
Oh, not so bad, Pastor. Just staying busy. I mean, a lot of people are coming in recently, so just keeping the nose to the grindstone.
He's like, well, the good word does bring in all kinds.
Boy, does it. And I look at Frank a little side eye.
He goes, I don't suppose I could I have a bit of an issue that's recently come up, and I don't suppose I could bother you two gentlemen for maybe a couple of minutes of your time, maybe somewhere off, maybe in your office or something like that.
Of course. Is it regarding that Mr. Peter?
Maybe.
Yeah, let's go to the office. Let's go to the office. And Jeb gets one of the high schoolers to run the cash register.
Ned. My time to shine, Mr. O'Neill.
Ned, don't disappoint me like your mother. Just kidding, that's not what Jeb was saying.
I know she had to go 2 towns over.
Shame.
So yeah, he follows you towards the back of the store, or is it? Where would the office be? Like, did we ever like truly specify that?
I think we said it was in the back, like way back. That's right.
Okay, yeah, like a few conference room, like a little conference room, and a few offices back there. Yeah, and he meets in the office, and you guys shut the door, and he says, "So, I think there might be an issue. I don't have any proof, but I feel this gentleman might be sticking his nose in where it doesn't belong again." Again. Like, I told you that, he was maybe poking around a little bit.
Right.
We don't have any proof that he's nosing around with our stuff, and we don't necessarily know, we don't know what his intentions are. Our intentions are solely to bring about the word of the Lord Jesus Christ. But he is becoming a problem, and we don't have any evidence, but a couple of my youth were accosted a few days ago.
Accosted? He attacked them, or you think he attacked them?
Well, one of them mentioned that they didn't really get a good look of the guy's figure. It was dark. But they do think he was brandishing some kind of weapon, something two-handed, like a baseball bat, or maybe like a wood axe, or one of them said maybe a sword, but that seems a little ridiculous, frankly.
Yeah, I don't know anyone that actually takes a sword seriously into battle. That's just absurd. I mean, that makes no damn sense.
Well, I guess the first thing I need to do is, what information have you found about this gentleman?
I mean, kind of told you, most of it last time we talked about him. He's got that Skunk Ape Museum. He's a little quirky, but he just kind of, I think he goes out and goes on scouting trips, to look for the cryptid, baloney stuff, but. I really don't know much about him. He kind of seems to keep to himself. No one sees him around town. I mean, I think I've seen him in here once or twice buying just odds and ends, but I mean, there's really not a whole lot on him. I mean, he just seems kind of like a guy that kind of has his thing and does it. I mean, he does seem like a curious type, obviously, because he's got, that museum. So, I mean, if he's poking around, that wouldn't be too surprising.
Yes, poking around indeed.
I mean, about the sword, I mean, I don't think he's, a ninja or nothing like that. I mean, I've never heard anyone say that, so,
Meanwhile, super hard cut to him and Russ, or Ramus Russell, like in sweatbands, jazzercising.
I need a hero.
Then hard cut back.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely not a ninja.
Whole training montage of you standing on cinder blocks and lifting them and doing all sorts of weird ninja training.
Yeah.
Well, I have a bit of a request. Now, I think you believe me when I tell you that everything I do is in the service of the Lord. I just want to get our message out.
Yeah.
But I need to be able to do it and feel safe. And this is a bit of a bizarre request. I understand that. How much would it cost to perhaps buy a few weapons from you? A few guns? Maybe 20 rifles.
20 rifles?
20 hunting rifles.
Well, I don't mean any disrespect, but 20 is more than a few, bastard. That's a small. That's actually literally a case of rifles. I mean, quite literally, that's a case like you put in the back of your truck. I mean, we have that many, but no one's ever bought 20 at a time.
Well, I assure you that any kind of background checks that, obviously that's going to take a couple of days. I'm sure you will see that they will check out perfectly fine. perfectly clean record. Purely for defense. Just at our camp to have the older members of my congregation protected. I mean, it's the North Georgia mountains as well,
Yeah.
Second Amendments and all that.
Oh yeah, by all means, yeah. Second Amendment, best amendment, right? But
you have to have the second to protect the first. Am I right?
That's right. But
why are you rolling your eyes, sir?
Beryl's not there, okay?
Yeah, Beryl's not there. Peter's jazzercising. You two have your conversation.
She felt a disturbance. I have no idea.
So, oh god. Yeah, I think I'm not really sure if I can sell 20 to one individual at one time, Patrick. I'll be honest. I think that might literally violate some laws or something. I'm fine to do it, but what I might need y'all to do is have each one of y'all come in and buy a rifle individually.
He goes, that's a fantastic idea. Unfortunately, I know just a large number of customers, and if they don't have the money, I'm sure the Lord will provide.
Okay, but also
he
20
says
is
with a smile on his face, not like a malicious smile, but just a smile.
I was like, yeah, I mean, it'd be you, but that's I don't care where the the money's coming from, but 20 rifles again. I'm sorry, that's just a lot of rifles. I mean, are y'all expecting serious trouble if Mr. Quinn is your concern? Then 20 rifles is a little overkill, don't you think? I mean,
well. Lord willing, it won't get to that. But to put it frankly, one of the people that was accosted was a child.
Oh no!
And yes, unfortunately, a small child. A small child of one of the ladies of our congregation. The child had an ailment not too long ago, but she brought it here, and what we're afraid is that this strange man might be, we don't know. He's hunting animals that obviously don't exist. I mean, if he were to see an actual miracle in practice, what would he do with it? Would he put it on display? Would he kidnap the kid? Would he dissect it? So we need to protect ourselves.
No, that's a really good point. Yeah, I didn't realize the child was involved. That does change things a little bit. All right. Well, it's going to take some days to even organize that. I mean, I'll have to start writing down all the numbers, the serial numbers of all the guns. Do you want any kind of caliber in particular? You just want general height rifles, scopes, no scopes?
He sits there and thinks for a second, and he goes, "What if a couple of 270s with scopes, and do you have just a couple? Because as you mentioned it, that does seem a little bit overkill. And for personal protection, a handgun works pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
How about a couple of we'll say 5 270s and 15 9mm, whichever one you have. If you have Berettas or Glocks, just whichever."
Okay, and you said how many? He's literally writing this down. How many handguns?
That's going to be 15.
15. All right, 9mm. All righty. Well, give me the day to get that sorted out, and then I can.
We'll say it's Tuesday. This is pretty much the next day after Beryl and Officer Park did their thing. He said if we could get them by ideally Thursday, that would be great. But 2-day waiting, background check, I understand that. But by the weekend, by Friday would be ideal.
I can guarantee you by the weekend. Again, with this smaller quantity, I don't feel like it's too suspicious to sell to like maybe 2 people. So send one guy, one of your guys, my information. I'll run it. And then both y'all pass background check. I'll be under both y'all's name. and then y'all can pick it up, Friday at the absolute latest. And I'll go ahead and call y'all and let you know how much the total will be. And then I'll sell you on a couple cases of ammunition as well.
He's like, that is most excellent. In fact, and he pulls out his driver's license. If you want to go ahead, like however many I can get right now, I can go ahead and begin that process right this moment.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
okay.
Sure.
And he spends the next 5-ish minutes filling out the documents for that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Afterwards he's like, all right, that should be it. By the end of the day, I'll send in about four more gentlemen in. They'll run the process. They'll come back clean as well. And sir, it's a pleasure. As always, it's a pleasure doing business with you, he says as he holds his hand out. And it is not bandaged today.
Yeah, Jeb reaches out, bracing himself for the very unfortunately familiar feeling of his hand, and goes, "The pleasure is all of mine," and chills a little bit.
It's
that hand.
It's still quite unpleasant. At this point, though, it is very obviously a power move.
yeah.
But the gross hand.
Jeb's embracing it. He's not letting it show. He's used to it now, so he's gonna shake it. Pleasure's all mine, Pastor. Y'all take care.
And he leaves the room, and at which point Frank, who has been quiet this whole time because Chase can't bounce around too often, he goes, "Son, what's Peter gotten into?"
What the fuck are we going to do, Dad? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is getting really hairy.
Yeah, I'm arming a small militia right now. That's still 20 guns. It's not 20 hunting rifles and AR-15, but that's still I'm selling these men 20 guns to try to blow Peter out of the water. This is bad news bears.
And I don't think you handled the situation bad. I don't know how I would have handled that because it sounds like he would have gotten the guns anyway. Well, not necessarily killed you, but if it wasn't through you, it would have been through some maybe shady, or have you seen that Flanagan store over the past couple of months that's popped up?
Yeah, they fucking started carrying guns last week. God damn them, cutting into our business, but. If not Flanagan's, it would have been, O'Connor's over the next county.
He's like, what is an artisanal handgun anyway?
Those muskets.
It says Veritas on the barrel.
It's self flintlocks.
Oh God, that was pretty good. Well, I was thinking maybe we could possibly disable or damage the firearm somehow, just to head, not all of them, but just some of them, just to hedge our bets somehow. I don't know if it's a good idea or a bad idea, because I'm assuming they're going to try firing them before the weekend. So I think we need to wait till as long as possible to give them to them, and then maybe tamper with a few of them. But then also, that's still a problem because they still have a shit ton of guns.
Yeah, and plus it's Appalachia, son. That's going to be difficult to get by some people,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe wait till the absolute last minute. The good news is with the background checks, we'll be able to let Peter know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But
okay, well, you can't go
also,
having.
Also, what's this about a kid? Did Peter attack some kids?
No, but there's a baby there in the cabin. So Peter never touched the baby, but the pastor's trying to use that to manipulate me. But the baby was just left in the basement of a cabin. So if anything, the pastor is literally just child abandonment, on that kid. So he didn't do anything to it. You were
at that meeting. You saw the photos.
No, actually, I don't think I mentioned he was there. I don't think I did.
Was he? I don't remember. We'll say he wasn't. I guess
retroactively he was not. That was the cardboard cutout that you guys keep when he's not there.
Excuse me. Yeah, so I don't think Beryl and Peter can be snooping around that property at all anymore, because they will literally get shot, and that ain't worth it. So I think me and you are the only ones that can like get access in there anymore.
Well, I mean, here's the problem, son. I mean, what's going to happen in a couple of weeks if nothing's done? I mean, like, we're really limiting our sources here.
Well, isn't that the big question? Every time they come and go, what happens, right before they leave? No one knows.
It's almost as if the stakes are getting raised.
Whoa, climax. Yeah, I'm kind of at a loss. Maybe we should reconvene with the other two and see if they got any ideas as far as what we can do from here on out, because it's kind of hard situation. It's just getting worse and worse.
And we will do that on the next chunk of recording. Cha cha cha.